Hi everybody, Mike with Enviroscape LA, and I'm really excited again today. This is actually about mid-February 2018, and we're redoing a yard that was landscaped a few years ago, and grass died out, got rid of the old grass. Want to do something fun and want to do something that's going to be more with the environment. So what we're doing is we're installing crappia. Before the crappia, we laid down the Rainbird Copper Shield Technology drip irrigation, which is the only sustainable drip irrigation on the market because it has copper to keep the weeds, to prevent root intrusion. Wanted to show you, we had a little mulch left over, so I want to just point this out before we go to the crappia. This is City Tree, City Manhattan Beach, and there's a lot of weeds here, but we didn't weed it out. Now, why didn't we weed this patch out? For the simple reason that nature, just like the human body, you don't have to think about the human body. You don't have to think about, your brain doesn't have to think about how many beats per minute you do, or it doesn't have to think about breathing. It's just automatic. Well, the earth is very similar. The earth actually knows what it needs. And so you take, for example, the weeds that are growing here, there's a lot of grasses. Evidently, there's a lot of nitrogen that the soil needs. So what the soil does is it says, it's okay, we want our the things that hold nitrogen out of the air, we want them to grow, and then when they die, they're going to provide nitrogen for the soil. Isn't that cool? So the ground really knows. So anyway, what we did was we had a little bit of mulch left over, so we applied the mulch here to kind of help speed up that process. And so this tree is going to be a whole lot healthier without the use of synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, herbicides, that kind of stuff. Okay, but getting back to crappia, the reason why we're installing crappia is real simple. Number one is, once it's, like the sign says, once its roots get installed, you only mow it you don't mow it, and you only water it 2 times a month. What grass could do that? Okay, and besides, if you do plant grass, you have to mow it. So this is less labor intensive. Number 2, you get the pollinators. And what do I mean by that? Well, when grass goes to seed, if it ever does, it gets real tall and you can't play on it. Well, this stuff doesn't get real tall, but what it does do is it has a little white flower, thousands and thousands of little white flowers that actually bring the pollinators, the birds and the butterflies and so on, the hummingbirds. It's a great plant. And then once they're spent, they go to seed, then you could cut them off with a weed whacker or whatever, or just leave them. And other little tiny little insects you can't even see with the eye, they actually come and they eat the seeds as they germinate. Anyway, really great stuff. I wanted you to take a closer look at the crappia. Like I said, we have the Rainbird Copper Shield drip irrigation, and also too, we put in a what I call a Jurassic garden in the background. Let's go ahead and come inside, and I'm going to show you this. We'll take a look. So here's a crappia. We just installed it this morning, so it's gorgeous, beautiful green. And here's a hint, anytime that you install any new plant, sod, native plants, you really need to water it good the very first day. Really important because it can dry out. Okay, over here I wanted to explain to you about the rock work here. So the client did not want a lot of maintenance. Actually, they wanted as low maintenance as possible. There's no such thing as a no maintenance garden, but this is as low as it gets. We had a lot of rock work. Under the rock work, we actually have landscape fabric. It's a black material here, you can see that, so the weeds aren't gonna try to pop up in those areas. The drip irrigation, we ran it from the crappia, we ran it around these gorgeous Jurassic-like plants. They're called encephalitos. If you want something that's a really special effect, special plant, it's called the encephalitos. The trunk will only get that big in 10 years, let's say, but these fronds get really cool. It's a really special effect. So we put one on this side of the house to fill this blank space, the one on the other side of the house. And then what the homeowner is going to do, he's going to chase this cute little girl to go to Toys R Us, and they're going to get some dinosaurs. That's why we're going to call this a dinosaur garden. So when she goes to school and it's share time, and it's like, well, what kind of garden do you have at home? but we have a dinosaur garden. How cool is that, isn't it? So wanted to also make mention that, bring you over here, show you, I mentioned it before, but the Rainbird Copper Shield Technology drip irrigation. This is the valve, this is the Rainbird. It has the pressure filter, it has a pressure reducer, the filter, and it's a Rainbird valve. It's a professional valve, very big, bulky. And how we laid the drip irrigation here is we ran a main header, what we call a header irrigation, and then we have lines every 12 inches. So about every 12 inches or so, there's a line that goes across underneath. So I could actually turn the sprinklers on right now, and you would not see the sprinklers going off because it's all underground. So it wastes zero water. It's amazing. Anyway, this is our latest creation. Threw this together. It's like I said, it's February. By July, August, this will be pretty established. There'll be everybody else in July or August will be watering their lawn every day. But this crappia will be getting watered at that point maybe once a week. Okay, this is Mike with Enviroscape LA signing off. When you think sustainability, think Enviroscape LA.